Welcome back, everyone, to the Legacy of Love, the return of the Divine Cosmic Mother. And I'm so happy that you're here with me and my special guest today, Sara Cornell, where we're going to be talking about activating your soul truth with Celestial Soul Reiki. Are you on a mission to assist with the transformation that's currently happening on Earth, yet unclear where to start? Do you feel like you're being called to step into your truth and share your light like never before? If you know that you're meant to assist with the current evolution of humanity, you don't want to miss this call. Join Sara and myself as we discuss Celestial Soul Reiki and how it specifically brings in the power of solar codes and the starlight energy for the ultimate transmutation and awakening of your soul truth. So, a little bit about Sara. Sara, with the guidance of her ancestor, is the creator of Celestial Soul Reiki, and she acts as a master truth activator for us. With an authentic, heart-centered approach, she blends her background of clinical therapist with energy work. As a cosmic soul truth activator specialist, she's an expert in identifying blockages in the body that creates disharmony and disconnection from our highest truth. Sara is passionate about helping you heal and embody your soul truth. She combines her expertise as a Reiki master, a certified intuitive strategist with Academy for the Soul, and a certified Akashic trance worker, which enables Sara to assist you in trusting your intuition and in opening yourself up to your natural healing master abilities, igniting the truth of your soul. Welcome, Sara.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you for that wonderful welcome. I'm really excited and blessed to be here. Thank you.
Oh, well, the feeling is mutual. You know, it's funny how some souls, they have the biggest hearts and you can feel their energy, even though you don't know them that well.
Yes.
You are one of those souls.
Thank
So,
you, Sherry. Well, so are you. I have to say that. So thank you.
maybe it's funny during these times of transition into embodying more of our light, we are seeking like our tribe.
Yes.
The people that we resonate with that can hold our light with us, so that, it takes an effort, it takes a little bit of work. And so I know before you and I started recording the session, we were talking a little bit about both of our experiences with Reiki and with illness and with, things crumbling in our lives. And so I feel like we really have that connection in both of us knowing the how powerful Reiki is. And I don't even know that it's Reiki. It's just really dropping into and beginning to experience ourselves as the soul. And that's what Reiki brings to us and started to bring to you. So I would love for you to share with the viewers how that happened and a little bit about your journey, just because for so many of us, we don't know that we are these master creators and powerful beings at the beginning. Lots has to crumble for us to learn that we are. So walk us through your journey if you're willing to.
Absolutely, Sherry. Thank you for asking. And yes, I was definitely disconnected for most of my life, to be honest. I As I was going through, I went, as you mentioned, I was a therapist. As I was going through graduate school, I was really almost seeing myself as an atheist. And so I really was very, very disconnected. I was very much into the logic of things rather than into intuition. And I kind of did that on purpose because I was always so sensitive growing up and I was getting hurt so much. I'm like, I just want to shut this sensitivity off and really only connect with logic. And I did it. And it took a while to get reconnected. But for me, for my awakening, Sherry, I when I was 29, my mom died. It was quite unexpectedly and tragically. And that happened the day before my second son was born. And 6 months later, I was diagnosed with cancer. And I had multiple surgeries, went through chemo. I was still working at the time, had two small children, and I started having illness after illness after illness, all these seemingly unrelated sicknesses happening to me. And this went on for a period of several years. And what happened was eventually I ended up losing my job, losing my home, pretty much losing everything. Um, and that breaking away, that falling away. So I'm feeling like that tower card in the tarot, right, where everything just comes crumbling down. I truly had that tower moment before I had my awakening. I was truly at a rock bottom place when I received my first Reiki treatment. And that Reiki treatment for me was so miraculous, really. I had been getting infections every single month, really needing antibiotics. Bladder infections, actually. And she did some work in my sacral and my solar plexus. There was like a lot of cords and old trauma in there. And after that treatment, or after that Reiki treatment, I did not have an infection for 6 months. So when that happened, I was like, okay, wow, there really is something to this. And so that led me kind of down that path of discovery and exploring Reiki and energy work.
Mhm. That's so beautiful. You know, yours is different than mine, but I know that I was sharing with you that it was through a medium reading that my dad came through, and I had found out that my dad had MS, and I
Mm,
watched him deteriorate from the time I was about 10 to where it finally took, his life. But anyway,
oh,
it's okay. Sorry. Still miss
no,
him.
no apologies. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Um, so in the medium reading, she came through, well, he came through and he said, you would be really good with energy work. And so she advised me to look into Reiki. And I remember my dad used to, when I would place my hands on his shoulders and that, he would feel the energy, without me
Mm,
knowing at the time, there was still something coming through, which I think all of us have this innate healing ability because we are energy. And so you can feel it, love is powerful. So when you were in the presence and somebody is holding that space for you, you can feel that energy. But when I took Reiki, I didn't feel anything for a long time, but I was determined to do it, to honor my father with Reiki and to follow that path. And so I remember when it first opened the energy in my hands and I could feel it through my hand chakras. Oh, wow.
yeah.
There are no words, right, to describe when you finally realize that we really, you hear we are energy. And
Right.
it's almost like babble. It's almost like these words
Right.
don't really make sense until you begin to experience yourself as energy. And then that that transition is experience yourself as soul.
Hmm.
So I love that you've created this extension of Reiki. And I
Mm.
know there's more to that too, because you even went deeper with your Reiki experience by your own. Well, share with us your journey into that too, because that's fascinating. When I first heard you tell a little bit about that, it's like, wow, my jaw was on the floor. That's super cool.
Absolutely. I would be happy to. And I just wanted to comment that when you shared that story about your dad, I got electric chills through my body. So I can feel him. He's
Oh,
very present, Sherry. And yeah, sometimes we can have so much old like trauma held on our heart that it can take a while to actually feel that energy move. But you're right, it absolutely is an amazing, when you first feel it, you're like, whoa, okay, this actually is real, it's really real. So yes, I'll talk about, or I would like to share about how I discovered Celeste, or how I'm bringing through Celestial Soul Reiki. So back about 4 or 5 years ago, I was taking my Akashic Transworker class, and I had an ancestral reading. So for anyone who doesn't know what the Akashic records are, it's like a library where we have access to everything that's ever happened to us, whether that's, past life, ancestral, even our galactic experiences. It's like this record that's energetically held of all that ever is. And when we connect into that soul, we can connect to all that is, right? The oneness that connects all of us. And so just wanted to share a little bit about that. So I had this reading, and an ancestor came through, and this ancestor, it was a masculine, and he shared that his tribe was located in the Pacific Southwest, so like the Andes Mountains, and they were there actually before Lemuria even. And he shows me how they were very connected to the sun, very connected to the earth. In fact, when he shows me what they looked like, it's like their hair and their skin, everything kind of glowed with this golden light. And they were more kind of like ethereal than we are. I mean, they have bodies, but just a little more ethereal than what we are now. And so what he shared in that reading was that at the time, um, when the corruption started, and like around the fall of Atlantis, there were colonizers, I suppose that you could say, invaders came, and they were really decimating the village. They were, there was a lot of death. They were taking the women and doing like hybridization experiments, like forced inbreeding, things like that. So this tribe was very shamanic. He actually, he had a fire, and summoned his ancestors and said, what can I do? How can I stop this? How can I save my people, basically? And his his ancestor said to him, you can't stop it. This has to happen. It's part of evolution. There is no stopping it. However, someday in the future, the sun, because remember, they all worshipped the sun, um, the sun will have a daughter, and this daughter will come to earth, and she will come to set all of this right. Now I'm going to get tearful every time I share that. And I, when that came through, I had such a physical reaction, such an emotional reaction. Like I couldn't really wrap my head around how that could be true, how I could be this daughter of the sun. But yeah, on some level, I knew that it was true. And so I had that reading, and then I started connecting with this ancestor. Now, I had no idea, zero, at the time, that I would be bringing forth some kind of healing modality from it. He was just really working on healing me and my help. And how I would see it was like I would see this. It was like this DNA. It would look like a DNA strand, and it would just randomly come. But I knew or felt that that was him. And it's like this light, and it would just come right into my heart, and I could feel it and I could see it. And it was like I was getting these healings, and these healings on my DNA, because there was a lot of, I guess you could say, corruption on my, or inversions, maybe that's a better word, inversions on my line and my DNA. Because as I mentioned, then I also carried the DNA of these invaders, right? Because it was the mixing of the two DNA. So I also carried that part of the DNA. So there was so much inversions that had really happened along my family line, especially my mother's line, which is where this traces back to. So I went through several years of deep, deep, deep healing, and what I want to share too is I feel like this is perfect for our topic that we're doing, because this sun that they connected with, this sun is a feminine sun. This sun, the solar light, she hasn't been here on the planet, anchored in so long, like since all of this, since the time of Lemuria, since the time of the fall of Atlantis, this solar light hasn't been anchored on Earth. But that's what she wants me to do, is assist with bringing this light in, anchoring this light back into the planet. And this light that is her, it contains, I see it as like this golden glow, and containing like geometrical shapes. And it contains everything that the body, the DNA, the cells need to heal, to activate. It activates even the dormant, what scientists call junk DNA, which, as you, Sherry, and I know, there's no such thing as junk DNA. From how I understand it, that's like our spiritual DNA, our galactic DNA. And it activates that and heals and repairs. I mean, I'm still kind of always in awe and learning about what this light, what she can do. But and as I've started this program and brought it through, I'm learning and seeing how my clients' lives are transformed, or the people who are signing up for this program. And clients isn't the right word. Soul family is more the right word of how I feel to everyone who has been drawn to me and this program. So it's been really exciting. I'm very honored that I get to bring this through, and my ancestor has been like, he shows me that, in his time, it was like the feminine was, everyone revered the great mother. Everybody revered the source of all life, everybody honored and of course, honored, cherished, and loved the feminine. And everything else that it's an inversion, that has been placed on us. And he has really helped me heal my relationship with the masculine as well, because I've had a lot of trauma with masculines. And so yeah, that's how I brought it through.
It's so beautiful. And when somebody speaks like you're telling this, it almost feels like a myth, it's like we're
Yeah.
something that is But yet I know on a deeper level, as you're describing the feminine version of the sun, well, first of all, you're already carrying her in you. You can feel it, like I can feel it. And anybody that talks to you and is present with you is going to, they might not know it, be able to, but there's something about you that is already carrying and embodying that energy. So, you know, we feel it through you.
Thank you, Sherry.
Yeah. So that's beautiful. But it's the topic of this summit is the legacy of love, the return of the divine cosmic mother.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we're all doing right now is we're healing from these fractured wounds of separation. And yet we
Mm-hmm.
don't want to go and create the same thing that happened before is the masculine and the feminine. And yet we're both,
Right.
you know, and this is what a lot of people don't understand when we don't understand energy is that we carry both masculine and feminine. And really we want to balance both energies so that they are supporting one another and kind of come into union, into divine union. And, you know, as the mother moves up with us, well, so many people feel that God is this entity that's outside of us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I personally don't use that word because it's almost like a disconnect for me.
Mm-hmm.
But if
I
we
feel that.
understand the mother, father
Mm-hmm.
of the divine is
Mm-hmm.
with us, you know, and then the mother is rising up in consciousness as we move through our stages of and through the Kundalini and the Shakti energy. And
Mm.
she rises up with us and she walks us through this journey in life
Yeah.
and goes through the different stages as we awaken more of these chakras and integrate the consciousness and the lessons, the soul lessons.
Mm-hmm.
She's always with us. And
Yes.
you want to talk about that a little because I really feel it's important that we honor this that she is really truly her energy is here for she's not with not there's not one person that's listening
Mm-hmm.
that she is not part of. We just may not
Absolutely.
know it. We may not be conscious to it.
Absolutely. I would love to speak on that more. And as you mentioned, you were talking about how we see or people perceive God as being something separate, right?
Mhm.
And even more than that, it's like we have this deep programming that God is not only something separate, but it's a man and
Mhm.
he's, angry and jealous and watching everything that we do and judging us. And if we don't
Right.
do what he wants, we're going to be punished eternally, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
there's so much there that we've been programmed with for thousands of years, our ancestors, all of that fear, it really is embedded so deep within us. And I feel like that's too what always turned me off to
Mhm.
religion,
Mhm.
right? Um and and for me, how I first learned about the goddess or the mother, it was when actually maybe a couple of years before I found Reiki. Was it my aunt? Yes, my aunt gave me a book, and it was about divine feminine. And I was like in my 30s, had never heard any concept or idea that the divine could be a female.
Mhm.
It was always only basically the Abrahamic kind of,
Mhm.
religion was all that I was exposed to somehow. And so I read that book and I found it quite interesting. This woman, she was talking about, how she was had these past life regressions and, would see like, I don't remember specifically, but something about like with a snake and like she was like dancing with this like, and that's the Kundalini energy, right? And it's really interesting because then of course in that first story that we've all heard about Adam and Eve, and then of course Eve is tempted by the snake,
Mhm.
so you can kind of see those themes of, the goddess, and almost like this message of like women are weak, women are evil, the
Mhm.
fall of humanity was woman's fault. And I feel like for women especially, we really carry that deep, that deep within us. And for the past thousands of years, our, women have been what really degraded,
Yes.
silenced, not have a voice, not have any rights, not enough. um, and so there's so much there to
Mhm.
unwind, and it's not just what we've experienced here, of course, right? It's, in our DNA, our ancestors, what they've carried and what they've gone through, and that like shame almost that's internalized around our feminine energy, which really shuts that energy down, right? But that's our creative power. That's our magic. That's our
Mhm.
female magic in that, in our sacral chakra. And um, for me, when I first started reading that, then it's like I couldn't stop reading enough. I wanted to hear, read all about, ancient cultures and how they,
Mhm.
worshipped the goddess, and I could feel her. There were a couple times where I was really in a bad headspace,
Mhm.
because I went through that illness, like I said, for years, and then plus losing my mom and all of that, and I feel like she was just always kind of there, just waiting for me, even this feminine sun, she was like just always there waiting for me, even when I couldn't hear her or feel her. There's a couple times where I feel like she did save my life, and a couple points when I was like really depressed and really in a low spot, and wanting to give up. And the more that I connect with her, it's like just this this overwhelming feeling of love, of acceptance, of cherishing, of adoring. It's like I feel like she says, there's nothing that you could do to make me stop loving you. I love every part of you, even the parts that you don't like, even the parts you try and hide that you're ashamed of, and it's so powerful. And you're right, Sherry, like love is the most powerful force. And when we're disconnected from that, which
Mhm.
happens, no fault of our own, it just happens. And when you can reconnect that, it's like, it's just so magical and so powerful. And I'm really passionate about it, right?
I can see you are, and it's beautiful to witness that.
Thank you,
Like,
Sherry.
so beautiful. I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, the passion just oozes from you. And I
Mm,
mean, she may partially be outside of you, but she's also embodying within you. You are like the energy, that energy. When we talk about archetypes, and like I know that we learn about personas and stuff like that, and
mm,
but the archetype as we move into our dharma, into our
mhm,
destiny,
mhm.
we can embody the energy pattern of God.
It's amazing.
This
Yes.
energy, we are energy. And we were talking about that because you mentioned that sometimes you move a lot because the energy is simply moving through you, and the body needs to move as the kundalini rises, and that our body will need to move through this. But it's amazing as we take this journey from the head to the heart, from the personal self to the soul, to the
Mhm.
sacred self that we are, the holy sacred being that we are. We begin to embody these beautiful, sacred, divine qualities that even if we forget for a moment, it's our essence, it's who we are. We cannot never not be. And
Exactly.
you are now, you are the embodiment of what you're putting outside of you,
Mm,
maybe outside a little, but you're integrating, you two are like, it's becoming one, and it's becoming apparent to someone on the outside,
mm.
apparent to you, but it's very clear to me that you are the embodiment of her.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sherry. Oh, yeah, it's like, you know, our physical body, it's like the temple for our soul, right? And so that's what we're bringing in and we are embodying. And of course, what I'm working on, and probably you're working on, we're all working on, is embodying more of that soul truth and this soul essence. And so thank you that you see that in
Mm.
me, because yeah, that's what we've been working for. And I
Uh,
see that in you too.
That's how I see it. I feel it.
Mm,
And
yes.
sometimes it's not something that I think this is another really important point, is that we are moving from the head to the heart. And so many of us have been used to using the mind, and the mind is brilliant and it's wonderful. And we're not trying to get rid of anything. We're not trying to get rid of masculine and replace with feminine. We're not, excuse me, we're not trying to get rid of the mind, the power of the mind. We're just trying to integrate everything so that we are all one. So I totally lost my pattern now, but I know. It's important. What I was going to say is that not only do I see it in you, more importantly, I feel it in you.
Mm,
And that raises my vibration because I'm in your field and feeling this and,
mm.
and accessing this. And this is what maybe we could even start to go into your offer a little bit and see where that goes, because this is what you're helping people with is, starting there is a journey of transmutation. We do have to dissolve our blockages, and it's part of our journey in moving from the head to the heart, the personal self to the soul, is becoming aware of what we're not aware of.
Right, right. That is so true. And if you can see or imagine that we all have like all of these layers, right? Layers of old wounding, of blockages on there, especially on the heart chakra, and not just what's happened to us in this life in childhood, or because we've all been through a lot, even in this life, but there's also past life, and of course our genealogical lines. And so many of these blockages are held on the heart. So when we are moving from that mind to the heart, it can be kind of difficult to really come into the heart when you have all of those old traumas still held there. So what we're really doing is we're really working at dissolving, disintegrating, so as many blockages as we can, thousands and thousands of layers, because then we're making space for the light of truth, which is the light of our soul, to come further into our body, for us to embody the truth of who we are. So yes, I would love to share about the offer now. So um, for my offer, you receive 2 private sessions. Um, well, I'll just back up just a little bit. You will receive 12 PDFs and videos that are self-study, and these will teach how to do a variety of energy treatments. I go over scanning, breath work, how to clear heavy energy, how to clear energy from an object. I talk about daily practice, how to really use the Reiki symbols. And so you receive that, and then you also we'll have 4 live group healing calls. There'll be an orientation call. And what we're doing in these calls, Sherry, is we're really working on that heart space. We're really going into the garden of the heart, and we're creating this beautiful healing space in the heart where the person can go back to again and again. And so we're really working on amplifying that heart resonance. So each week we're going deep into the heart space. And so after the orientation call, we'll have three live group healing calls. And how I program these is I'm really working with everyone's higher self and scanning to see, what is the biggest blockage that needs to be removed. And some of the themes that have come up so far, it's, like the one that gives their power away, or the one that shames, or persecution wounds, the many, many lifetimes that we've been persecuted for or punished for using our soul gifts. There's so many blockages that can come up, especially as we're getting ready to put ourselves out there, because we've been through so much trauma. And so these 3 live group healing sessions really, these are really, really deep. They're very deep, deep, deep clearings, and we're removing, cords, hooks, contracts, transforming personas, as many as we can. So those are very deep healings. And then there will be the next private session is what's called the Cosmic Soul Truth Algorithm Activation Session. And this session is a very deep one-on-one hour-long healing. And what I'm doing is I'm going into each of the main chakras, the 7 main chakras, and clearing out as many blockages as I can, healing up rips and tears in the chakras, healing up, any calcifications or cords or entities or, contracts, whatever your higher self shows me that needs to go. I'm really doing a very deep, one person or several people have even said it's the deepest healing that they have ever received. And so after then we're clearing out then so much, then what I'm doing is I'm activating your cosmic soul truth algorithm. And this is a special gift of mine to activate the truth in others. And how I perceive this activation is I perceive it as a beautiful mandala of light, like this pattern of light, and I anchor it into the body and activate it. And so that's that session. It's very beautiful, very, very thorough. I love doing these. And then finally, we have the 90-minute one-on-one attunement and initiation ceremony. So this is kind of the grand finale, if you will, of the program. So what we do here is the first part is I do the attunement to Reiki levels 1 and 2. And then what we do is we go into the heart space that we've been working on each week. And I bring in my ancestor, and then he actually erects a sun temple, which these sun temples, from what is shared with me, is these sun temples were all over the planet at one point. So we are erecting a sun temple in your hearts, and then we're going into that temple and then bringing in the solar light, the feminine sun, and she does the activation and initiation, actually initiating the person as a priestess or priest of the sun. It's very, each one is a little bit unique because I'm just channeling it through each time, but the theme is basically the same. And so what happens is, as you're receiving this initiation, this attunement, is it's clearing out even more layers and opening up new pathways, opening up new, it's like reconnecting maybe different pathways in the body and being, bringing back online certain gifts that and abilities that have been held dormant. It's activating and repairing the DNA and the cells, and also Gaia comes into the session, and she does an initiation too, initiating into the mysteries of her, the mysteries of the earth. So you'll receive the attunement to level 1 and 2, and then the celestial and earth light attunement as well. And this light will automatically flow with the Reiki or with any other healing modality that you use. I am certified in several different healing attunements, and I'm always like the solar light, it's always coming through, and it just amplifies. And yeah, I guess amplifies is the best word there, the energy with those solar lights. And then also reconnecting, it's like she shows me that she's a gateway, so reconnecting to other galactic lives as well, and galactic abilities. And also, I just feel like now is a good time to mention my ancestor and his people. They were actually from the star system Pleiades. So yeah, I've just recently been calling them the Pleiadian Sun Tribe. So that's really beautiful. So we're connecting to those Pleiadian energies as well. And then also there will be meditations included. There'll be 2 meditations included to listen to for daily use, one before the attunement and one after. And then also as a bonus, there are PDFs, 3 PDFs and 3 videos on how to connect with your guides. So that's the program. There's a lot there.
There sure is. And, there were so many things that were coming to me. It's hard to cover, as somebody's sharing, there's so many things. But the first thing I want to say is, first of all, it's a beautiful offer.
Thank you.
And having experienced Reiki myself and energy myself, I highly encourage anybody to do this, because it is what we need in order to start to dissolve these things and really get into the heart, which is the where we can experience ourselves as soul.
Yes. Yes.
Have a relationship with our physical beingness and our spiritual. And as you deepen into it, and everybody's experience is meant to be different, which is so beautiful. Once we hit soul level awareness, I guess it is, remembrance.
Yes.
It's that we're no longer comparing, because we understand that each one of us, and so I can celebrate with you, and I can let everybody know about you, because I don't feel that threat. The personal self, as you're starting to go, a lot of us that are drawn to these programs are the ones that want to be holding the light, but there's still that a little bit. And I mean, I will really admit that there's been a lot of that contraction before. It's another layer is dissolving. You can almost tell when a layer dissolves, right? Because your whole way of seeing it is so different. It's like, okay, I don't have that resistance. And if there might be a little bit, but it's not enough to hold me back anymore. And this is the beautiful thing, is that we commit. It's almost like a soul love journey.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And you brought up comparing, and I feel like that's kind of how another layer of how we've really been programmed, right? And that's another one of those inversions. It's like that we're in competition, and you know what I mean? But really, it's like carry we each carry and hold a very important piece of the puzzle of that cosmic whole. And my gift is to activate in each person what they're meant to bring through, what they're carrying. And that's what this light does. It brings your own soul gifts online, because each and every person, if you're drawn to this, if you're listening to this, you're carrying important codes, you're carrying
Mhm.
important information, important gifts that humanity needs right now. We all
Mhm.
need this healing. The earth needs this
Mhm.
healing. And that's really what my program is about, is opening up your own unique soul gifts.
Mhm. That's so beautiful too. And I have to say this though, as you were talking, I can feel her. I can feel her. The energy is so powerful. It's like, oh my gosh, I can, so she's flowing through you, but I can also feel her presence is, very much outside, but very much inside of you too. So it's weird to explain that though, isn't it? It's
It
like
is.
when we become, I don't know what it is. It's almost like well, we learn that there really are only one anyway. We are just one of all of that, and experiencing ourselves as unique, separate individuals until we
Yes.
finally remember that we're not. I've got a ways
Right.
to go. I got a ways to go with that. But I love that you're helping because Sarah, and I want to say that I admire you too, because to be able to do this, the old Sarah probably couldn't have done it because she would have been terrified of what
Oh
are
no.
people going to say when I'm,
Yes.
saying this. And it's like, yeah, you say it, you share it because I can feel it.
Mm,
It's
thank you,
true
Sherry.
and it's
Thank you.
beautiful,
Mm,
and we all are. In just what you said, we're drawn to this because we know that we're that piece in the puzzle, and each one of us has this beautiful offering, and we may not
yes.
know what it is yet, but something within us is guiding us and we're drawn to these things. It's like a magnet drawing me to it. I want more and more and more of that. And
Yes.
your beautiful offering will help people become more aware of what that is they're being called to.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Sherry. And honestly, even a year ago, I could not have seen myself doing that. I was very, I've had to work through so many layers of that
Mhm.
resistance, because we have so many. And a lot of it, Sherry, from what I found in myself, doing healings on myself and on my soul family, is that we've gone through so much persecution in past lives and in our lines. And there's so much fear there's so much subconscious, these personas. Oh, don't do that because you're going to be hung or burned at the stake, or put in a mental institution, or rejected, or laughed at, or there's so many layers to this. And then, like I said, all those blockages that we were talking about in the beginning on the sacral chakra,
Mhm.
that shame, even just around being a female, but especially the shame around our creative sexual energy, right? And so it's working, and that's really how I've been working these group healing calls, is really helping to uproot all those things that are, all those personas, all those blockages that would be stopping you from, taking that step and sharing the light, and sharing the offering. And even if you're listening to this and you're like, I have no idea what my offering could even
Mhm.
be. A year ago, honestly, I had no idea either. There's that divine timing piece, and it will
Mhm.
all be revealed in each step, right? It's just that next step, that
Exactly.
next step, that next step.
Exactly. And you know what? I would like to even address that a little bit deeper too, because the offering is really truly us just showing up for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
It's
that's
really
it.
truly that simple. It's becoming aware, and as we become more aware, we become more empowered, and as we become more empowered, there's this transformation, and we become heart-centered, and then we discover we're the soul, and it's this evolution. We're constantly evolving and evolving and evolving, and that is the journey, is just to, the destination is this moment that we're in right now is where I'm supposed to be. I don't
Yes.
need to worry about tomorrow.
Right, right. We're here in this now moment, and this is where you and I are supposed to be, Sherry. We've been talking for months about having a sacred conversation, haven't we?
Exactly. We're finally doing it.
We're finally doing it, and here we are in the perfect moment, and we're all on this journey together, and we're all just holding space for each other as we're returning back home, to which the home is the
Beautiful.
truth. Yes, the
That's
truth of who
beautiful.
we are.
Right. And,
Mhm.
like home feels like heart, right? Like it
Yes,
feels like this is where I get home. And for all of us, this is where we're being called
exactly,
home,
exactly.
home. And
Yes.
the Divine Mother is here assisting us, and you are with your feminine son, that the goddess that's here
Mm,
to change the way that we see reality, the paradigm, the conditioning, the beliefs. And there is a lot of healing. In fact, I just contributed a chapter, and part of it was talking about the heroine's journey.
mm,
And the last stage, based on Maureen Murdoch's book, is where we, not the last, the ninth stage is where we heal the aspect of the masculine,
mm,
and we
mhm.
recognize that these qualities of the masculine, the divine qualities of the masculine, we need, like, it's like, yes, I want to totally integrate those qualities to help me move forward and be that light spread, not only bring it in, send it
Yes.
out.
Send it out. Yes. And that is when we can bring it into our heart, and when we can open our heart. It's the heart is, and I believe this is probably, you're going to feel that this is true as well, Sherry, but for me it's like when you can release all those layers of shame and pain and hurt and doubt that's on the heart, and the heart opens for the first time, it's like this rush of joy and bliss unlike anything I've ever felt.
I know. See, that's how you experienced it. And see, that's what's so beautiful, because you got it as joy. I
Mm,
received it because it came in as waves of
mm.
energy. Like I felt like I was in the ocean and being rocked back and forth in the gentle waves of the ocean. And I can still feel the waves when I'm, present in the moment and aware that awareness is within me, that
Yes.
I am that awareness.
Yes. And when we can start seeing ourselves as sacred.
Oh, yes, that's my favorite.
Yes. When we
Yes.
realize, yes, that we are an aspect of the great mother, the divine goddess, and all of, she has so many faces. Have you found that
Yes.
as well, Sherry? Yes.
Yes, and whatever we resonate with, because when we were talking about archetypes and stuff, so some may resonate with the Divine Mother Mary, some may resonate with the goddess Isis, some may resonate with. It doesn't matter. It's like, what is the energy that they carry, that they can offer you, and allow yourself to bring that energy in. What does compassion feel like? What does love feel like? What does acceptance feel like? What are all these beautiful qualities that we've never really been taught to admire?
Right.
And what's missing in humanity.
It is what's missing in humanity. You are 100% right. And and then when it's like that moment when you remember or feel that I am her. She is me. She is you. We are both an aspect of the goddess coming together and co-creating this video that then so many other people are going to watch and connect with, and hopefully remember and feel that in themselves. But it does all come to the heart. The heart is it's a portal. It's a portal, a magical portal, to it unlocks all of the keys to all of your gifts and everything, which is why in my program, Working in the Heart Space, each week we're cultivating that heart resonance, because it is the most important part, for sure, I feel.
Oh, 100% support you in that one. 100%. So as we come to a close, I really feel that it's important that I mention something because we didn't talk about this, but being with the Academy for the Soul, we both know that this is part of the training that's going to lead to Crystal's training. But those that don't know, because this is on a different platform, although I know Crystal and Loren are very close and work well
Yes.
together too. But we should maybe mention that this is a prequel to
Ah,
where
med
this can, yes, yes,
yes,
yes.
to Metatronic Reiki, which I believe that probably people who are on Loren's list also have seen Crystal offering the Metatronic Reiki, maybe experienced it for themselves. I've experienced several rounds of it and found it to be quite transformative, quite healing, very beautiful modality. And this Celestial Soul Reiki is going to be a prerequisite for Crystal's going to start attuning people to Metatronic Reiki. And I have seen since I started this program, Metatron's cube has come in, and I've seen it like connect with this golden sun, this beautiful feminine sun, and shimmering and vibrating. And so they come together and dance and play very beautifully together, these two energies. And yeah, so it's pretty exciting that there's a lot. This would kind of just be the beginning potentially of an even bigger journey to open up.
Right,
Yeah.
right, which is awesome. I love that Crystal is doing that. But what it tells me, though, is that you are the one that is here to teach those to take her to that, to take us to that level, to the next level. So Crystal would never do that if she didn't believe in you and know. I mean, honestly, your heart is so big and it's so
Aw.
beautiful. And I
Thank you,
thank you so
Sherry.
much for holding this space with me and holding this space for others and having this beautiful sacred conversation that we finally got to. And,
Yes.
so Sarah, the title of the summit is, and I'm not trying to catch you off guard, this is simple, drop into the heart. You're going to know this. How is the Divine Mother moving through you? I mean, it's pretty clear what the answer is going to be, but I would still like to hear it from you. What is the legacy that you're going to leave as the Divine Mother moves through you?
Mm. Sherry, I hope to leave a legacy of light. I really feel like I've kind of gone through this journey that I mean, to me, it feels like all that pain, all that hardship, and really I've just kind of scratched the surface with what I've shared today. But I feel like I went through all of that, like down to the depths, so that I can bring this back up. And so it can inspire people no matter where you are, no matter how far you feel that you've disconnected or separated, there's always a way back. And my legacy, I just hope that it's, or I wish for it to be, one of love, one of, showing how strong the human spirit is, how powerful healing and love and the goddess is. And even for my children, because they've especially seen how sick I once was compared to now, and just like a legacy of hope, of rebirth, and of renewal.
Mm,
That's what I wish to leave.
love that.
Thank you, Sherry.
You're already doing it. So you're just going to continue doing it,
Thank
shining
you.
light and letting your heart love out, energy out.
Mm, mm.
Thank you so much for this beautiful sacred conversation.
Oh, thank you, Sherry. Thank you.
Yes, you were so welcome. And so for now, I send peace, love, and blessings to all of the viewers, and I send it to you too, Sara. And I say bye for now.
Received and sending back to everyone as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Until we meet again.
Till we
Bye
meet
for
again.
now.
Bye.
This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in Unity Consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.